Hi there, I'm Oliver Campbell and this is Lost on Campus, and today we're meeting up with the Leicester Labour Society, who've decided to do a camp out. And have they chosen the rolling hills of the Cotswolds or the beautiful landscape of the Brecon Beacons? No, they've decided to choose the luxurious location of just outside the Attenborough Tower, so this should be interesting. Wondering if you could explain for us what you're actually doing here tonight.
Yeah, this is the big sleep out. The Labour Society, along with a lot of other people from other societies, are coming down today to spend the whole night outside the Attenborough Tower. Basically, it's twofold. One, to raise awareness at the university itself about homelessness and youth homelessness issues, and the other one is to raise money for Action Homeless, which is one of the major charities in Leicester.
Right, we're here with Dan tonight. He's participating in the camp out. How are you doing, Dan?
I'm doing well, thanks. A bit cold, a bit wet, but everyone's happy here, so no complaints.
What's your plan for survival tonight?
I've got about 20 layers on, loads of fleeces and chocolate, so that's my plan at the moment.
I could be better. It's quite cold, and it's more than anything, it's wet. My gloves are wet, but it's all right.
We have had a few complaints, because it's going to happen. It's quite cold. But, people have to do this like every day. I mean, that's horrible to think that people have to do this, every single day.
What do you realistically hope to achieve with all this?
Well, on a national level, obviously the issue of homelessness has been in the news quite regular. It's a lot of press attention has been brought to it, so hopefully something on that scale can be really heavily achieved. With terms of what we can specifically do in Leicester, the talks with the council are going really well. Hopefully, by the end of this year, we should have some really progressive policies put in place to actually really help these people.
Often young homeless people are low on the priority list. Recently there was under 25-year-olds are at risk at having their housing benefit cut, and thankfully that hasn't gone through, but it just goes to show when that's an option, they're really low down on the list, and we need to make sure that they're always on the agenda.
I think it's like 70 out of 100 people do get housed by the council, and it's like, so what happens to those 30, 40 people? And it's like, unless you're in a priority group, you're not going to get a house.
We're all very lucky to live the lives that we do, and if we can do anything to try and help those who aren't as lucky, I think we really should do it.
So last night's Big Sleep raised money and awareness for youth homelessness and is one of the efforts aimed at tackling the problem. But what do the students think on the issue, and what would they do about it?
Well, no, obviously, I think it's terrible. I think of all people equipped to deal with something like homelessness, the young are obviously the most vulnerable and the least. It probably affects them most in the long run, and as hard as it is to say, they're probably, they're the least deserving of it.
More people need to be aware of, because when you think homeless, I think the sort of stereotypical image that goes in your mind is of this sort of the hobo, the bum kind of image. But you've got to remember there are a lot of kids who find themselves out in the streets, without any support, any home to go back to. And I think it's something we need to combat.
They should do more to raise awareness, because I didn't know about it. And I don't think any of my friends know about it as well.
Like from posters, like you have to go all out, just little things, posters and advertisements or whatever. Just let people know that we can donate. Like, it doesn't have to be much, but if we all donate a little sum, it can help.
Supermarkets should give out their food at the end of the day to homeless people. Yeah, the reduced stuff. Some things at Morrison are really cheap later on, so they could give those to the homeless people, and then they'd have some food for the night.
Mainly young people can relate to young people, so maybe some errands can be run in universities like this.
I think we can do a little bit to help, but ultimately it's government money that'll help rather than however much students can raise on one night.
There shouldn't be any cuts happening towards that, because there are kids, there are our nation's kids, they should be looked after.
So after speaking to students, it appears the issue of youth homelessness is one that creates a response that calls for action, and campaigns like the Big Sleep Out are one of the steps that can be taken to solving this problem. I'm Oliver Campbell, and this has been Lost on Campus. Goodbye.